Welcome to the Financial Wellness Academy, educating and empowering you to master your money so that you can live the life that you desire, regardless of your current circumstances. My name is Katrina Ellis, founder of the Financial Wellness Academy, and in today's vlog, we're going to talk about how to banish bill shock and conquer ad hoc bill anxiety. So that's been a mouthful. And unfortunately, it's something that many people experience on a regular basis. And it's something I can speak to very personally because it is one of the key stressors. And one of the reasons I started out on this journey, because when one of those bills would land either on my doorstep or in my email box, it would send terror through my body. I would feel like I had this massive weight on my chest, crushing, and I would really get into a high level of anxiety, figuring and worrying and fearing, how am I going to find the money to pay this bill? And like I mentioned on an earlier vlog, it was using the strategy of empowering questions that helped me come to a solution for that time and that I still use to this day. So when you're in the position that, when that car tax lands or the car insurance or maybe the house insurance or an important bill that you really want to pay, but that when you're struggling on a monthly basis, it can be really a source of pain when you don't have that money available. So here's what I did. And I found a really simple solution. So the first step to sort this situation out was writing a list of all those bills that go out. So I went back through my accounts and looked at all the things in the house around, etc., that I was making payments for on an annual basis, but they were dotted right throughout the year. There was a lot for some, and then others were just scattered through the year. So I wrote that list down, wrote an amount beside each one, and totaled that up. And that was quite a big figure, and it was a scary figure to look at. And my next step was to divide that figure by 12, as in 12 months of the year. So if I was providing for those bills on a monthly basis, what is the amount I would need to put away every month to know that they were taken care of? And even when I divided that by 12, that was still a scary figure because I did not have that amount spare at that point in time. But what that did do for me was really open my eyes to see, well, if I can find that money, if I can generate that money in some way, either increasing what's coming in and or decreasing what's going out, then that solves a huge source of stress for me. So I set about looking at what was coming in, looking at what was going out, and coming to the point where I was able to find that amount of money per month to put away. So I set up a standing order for that amount, and each month that goes away into a savings account. So that's my ad hoc expenses. Now, if you're using an account that has jars, then you can set it up in jar format and it be within the same account. It doesn't really matter how you do it. The point of this and the importance piece really is to nip it in the bud, to find a solution that works for you to deal with this. And I know it's a piece that affects a huge amount of people. So, say, for example, to illustrate this with some actual figures. So say, for example, when I totted all my ad hoc bills up, they came to 1,200. So whether that's pounds, euro, dollars, it doesn't really matter. And I divided then that by 12. So that means that for me to cover those on an annual basis, I would need to be able to put away £100, dollars, euro each month away to know that all those expenses were covered each year. And like I said, if right now maybe you've just got 20 to spare, so then you know you've got a gap of 80 to find somewhere. So how can you generate that extra money? How can you maybe reduce some of the bills that you have to create that money so that you have it going away every month? And the impact of being able to do that is enormous. When I found myself in the position of having that amount every month to put away to meet those bills, I then started to add in other things as I became aware of more ad hoc pieces. So I picked the more urgent ones first. And as my financial wellness level grew, I started to add in other of those types of expenses. So I started to add in things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, birthdays, holidays, replacement tech, house maintenance, car maintenance, all the other things that go out on an ad hoc basis. And some of these amounts may not have a fixed amount. So, say for example, car maintenance or house maintenance, you don't know how much you're going to need towards that. You might have an idea. So, in those instances, I will put in a guesstimate as to what I think I'd need. And my worst case scenario is that I put in more than I needed, and that's great. I've got a little spare cash because if something else went over, I have some spare money. If it's more than what you think, well, then for the year going forward, you adjust that figure and you increase the amount that needs to go in. So it's a constant work in progress. So you start with a good enough start as to what that looks like, and you can evolve this as you go. And the more attention you pay to it, the more accurate it becomes, and the more kinks it takes out of that monthly spending, so that your monthly becomes very much more linear and less kind of spiky, so that things like Christmas or holidays don't tend to be a big stressor, and you don't end up putting debt on your credit cards to deal with those either Christmas, holidays, whatever it is that tend to be big expenses for you. So that's a really simple idea of how to banish that bill shock and really get on top of bill anxiety, because it is a huge source of mental stress for many people. So I hope this was helpful. If that you want to make any comments or share your ahas or what you're going to do in terms of next steps with this to make it work for you, I'd love to hear from those. So post on social media or comments or comment below. And yeah, see you on my next vlog soon. Here's to your financial wellness.